Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex, thrilled to be kicking things off today from our studio right here in sunny Sacramento, California.
And I'm Morgan. Great to be here with you all. It is Friday, June 27th, 2025. And yeah, it's a hot one here in Sac CLE, 97 degrees Fahrenheit predicted today.
Phew. Stay cool out there, folks. Elsewhere, looks like that heat wave's continuing over in the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, and some severe thunderstorm chances up in the northern plains and upper Midwest through the weekend. So keep an eye on that.
Okay, let's take a quick peek at the markets closing out the week. The Dow Jones finished Friday at 43,596.56. That's up about 91 points for the day.
And pretty solid for the week, too. Up, 1,418 points. It's over 3.3%.
Yeah, good week. S&P 500 closed at 6,159.32, also up slightly today, and up about 190 points for the week. Just over 3% gain there, too.
And Bitcoin, let's see, closed at 106,886.20. Down just a tiny bit today, like 95 points, but still up to the week, over 1.25%. So mostly positive signs closing out June.
Mostly positive, yeah, unless you're a San Francisco Giants fan like me. Oof. Tough loss yesterday against the Marlins, 5-12.
Ouch. Yeah, I saw that score.
Yeah, Rafael Devers just lit us up. 3 for 4 with a homer. Oh, well. Sometimes you just got to shake it off, look ahead.
Exactly. And in the tech world, there's always something new ahead. We've got our Morningstar report lined up, packed with today's biggest stories.
All right, let's dive in. First up, Meta. They are making some serious power plays in AI. We've heard rumblings, right? Even OpenAI CEO Sam Altman mentioned their poaching of talent.
Yeah, and it seems that's not just talk. Their latest hire is really significant. Trebet Bansal, he was a key researcher at OpenAI, helped develop their O1 reasoning model.
O1, okay, remind us quickly what that is.
So O1 is all about getting AI to think and plan more like humans, using logic. It's a big step. And Bansal worked closely with Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's co-founder, especially on reinforcement learning. His LinkedIn now says he joined Meta this month.
Wow. Okay, so he's not just any researcher. And where's he landing within Meta?
He's joining their new AI superintelligence team. And get this, it's being led by Alexandra Wang, the CEO of Scale AI.
Scale AI, didn't Meta just invest heavily in them?
They did, a massive $15 billion investment, giving Meta a 49% stake. So you can see the strategy, right? Securing talent, securing capabilities through investment. It's a major push.
It's definitely connecting the dots there. What else is part of Meta's grand AI plan?
Well, beyond talent, they're reportedly working on their own AI search engine. Been indexing the web for over a year, apparently.
An AI search engine? Interesting.
And they're developing their own AI chips, too. They're in the testing phase, aiming for self-reliance, cutting costs, and maybe getting off the NVIDIA train eventually.
That's a huge undertaking, building your own silicon.
It is. And they've even mentioned potentially sharing some tech with like the U.S. government, so the ambitions are broad.
Okay, but the really juicy part might be this new Llama 3.1 model they just announced. The 405B version. Zuckerberg is calling it the path forward for open source AI.
Right. He's really pushing this idea that open models are the way to go, powering their Meta AI assistant, benefiting everyone.
But is it really open source? I feel like there's always a catch with that term these days.
That's exactly the debate. The Open Source Initiative, the OSI, and analysts like Stephen O'Grady are saying, well, hold on a minute. It's not truly open source in the traditional sense.
Why not? What's the issue?
The licensing. It specifically restricts big competitors, think Amazon, Google, Microsoft, from using it commercially. The OSI director even called it a liability for developers because it's opaque, and Meta ultimately controls it.
So it's open for some, but not for their main rivals, kind of an open-ish strategy then.
Exactly. It's strategically open. It benefits Meta because lots of smaller players can use it, build on it, innovate with it, but it keeps the biggest threats at bay.
That's clever, if a bit misleading on the open source label. But despite that debate, these models are having real-world effects, right?
Oh, absolutely. Take Dr. Cal Clark at Zaron Labs. He's using Meta's Llama to build something called Guardian AI. He describes it as a kind of spell checker for radiologists.
Wow, okay. How does that work?
Well, radiologists look at thousands of scans a year, maybe 10,000, 15,000, and there's an estimated error rate maybe 4%, which means millions of patients might be affected by false negatives.
That's a lot.
It is. So Guardian AI uses Llama to help spot those potential misses, those false negatives, and flags them for a second look by a human radiologist.
That's incredible. And that's enabled by having access to a powerful model like Llama.
Precisely. It shows the power of making these models available, even if it's open-ish. It helps level the playing field for innovators like Dr. Clark. Plus, there's the benefit of processing data locally.
Ah, right. Crucial for healthcare with privacy rules like IPI. You can't just send patient scans to the cloud necessarily.
Exactly. Jan LeCun, Meta's chief AI scientist, really emphasizes this collaborative aspect. He talks about building on each other's ideas, getting more people involved to make progress faster.
But it also helps Meta, doesn't it? When others build on Llama, it makes Llama better, strengthens their ecosystem.
Totally. It's a feedback loop. Developers create tools, find efficiencies, integrate it. It helps Llama catch up to or even surpass other models. It's mutually beneficial, but, Meta's still holding the reins through that license.
It really makes you think about what open even means anymore in tech. Meta's playing the long game here. Talent, chips, strategic openness. It's fascinating.
Okay, let's shift gears from AI models to how we actually use social media day to day. Our next story is about platforms expanding their reach even onto your TV screen, potentially.
And it starts with something I gotta say was a long time coming. Instagram, finally, an iPad app.
Took them long enough, right? After years of users asking, and Adam Mosseri, Instagram's head, kind of dismissing it, saying there wasn't enough demand or resources.
Yeah. But is this just about pleasing iPad users, or is there more to it?
Oh, there's definitely more. This seems to be part of a bigger strategy, especially with the potential TikTok ban looming in the US. Instagram wants to be ready to scoop up those users and creators.
Makes sense. What else are they doing on that front?
They're launching a new video editing app called Edits. Sounds like a direct competitor to ByteDance's CapCut, which is huge with TikTok creators.
Okay, so providing the tools creators need.
Right, and they've increased the length limit for Reels to 3 minutes, matching TikTok. Plus some interface tweaks to make it feel, more like TikTok.
Classic Meta playbook, maybe? Emulate the successful competitor.
You could say that.
Yeah.
But it's also about how social media is challenging the old guard, like Google.
How so?
Well, a Google executive, Prabhakar Raghavan, admitted something pretty startling recently. He said younger users, like 18 to 24-year-olds, are ditching Google search and maps for discovery.
Really? Where are they going instead?
TikTok and Instagram. He said almost 40% of young people, when they're looking for, say, a lunch spot, they go to TikTok or Instagram first, not Google.
40%. Wow. That has to be worrying for Google. That's their core business, search and discovery, and the ads that go with it.
Exactly. It's a potential long-term threat. Younger generations prefer, as he put it, visually rich forms of information.
Yeah.
He made the point that many younger users have never even seen a paper map.
Yeah, true.
Yet a lot of mapping apps are still designed like digitized paper maps. Maybe that visual language just doesn't click the same way.
That's a really interesting point about generational shifts in information seeking. So what's Google doing to fight back? They can't just let that happen.
No, they're definitely responding. They're adding more augmented reality features to maps, making it more visual, more immersive with 3D views.
Trying to make maps more engaging than just a flat map.
Right. And significantly, they're now indexing Instagram and TikTok videos directly in Google search results.
Oh, okay. So if I search for something, I might get a TikTok video as a result.
Yeah, and they're using AI to analyze the content of those videos. So if you search how to change a tire, Google might show you a video result and let you jump straight to the part where they, loosen the lug nuts.
That's actually really useful instead of scrubbing through a whole video.
Exactly. It's trying to make video content as searchable and useful as text. So maybe this is the next phase of search, right? More visual, more AI-driven analysis of different content types.
It certainly feels like search is evolving beyond just typing words into a box. It's adapting to how people, especially younger people, discover and consume information. Fascinating stuff.
Definitely. Okay, for our last story today, let's talk about the hardware that powers so much of this AI boom. NVIDIA. They've been flying high, but it looks like they're hitting some turbulence with their next big thing.
The Blackwell chips. I heard those were supposed to be incredible, like an iPhone moment for NVIDIA. Twice as fast as the current Hopper chips. What's the issue?
Well, there seem to be a couple of significant problems causing delays. First, there were reports about design flaws in the processor die that connects the two GPUs together on the main GB200 chip. Their manufacturer, TSMC, apparently flagged it.
Okay, a design flaw. That sounds serious.
Yeah. And more recently, another issue popped up. overheating. Not necessarily the chips themselves, but the server racks designed to hold them. They're apparently getting too hot, requiring some late-stage design changes.
Overheating racks, so it's a system-level problem. These things generate immense heat, I suppose.
They do, and these aren't small issues. They're causing real delays.
So what's the impact? I know all the big tech companies, Microsoft, Google, Meta, they've ordered billions of dollars worth of these Blackwell chips.
Huge impact. It's creating a domino effect. Microsoft, for example, was planning to get like 55,000 to 65,000 of these GV200 GPUs for OpenAI by early 2025. That timeline looks shaky now.
Wow, that directly impacts OpenAI's plans.
Right. And Google apparently ordered over 400,000 of them. That's like a $10 billion order. Meta also put in a $10 billion order. Significant shipments for these big orders aren't expected now until the first quarter of 2025, maybe later.
So everyone's AI timelines are getting pushed back because of these chip delays.
It seems likely, yeah. It affects how quickly they can train their next-gen models, deploy new AI services. It's a major bottleneck.
How's NVIDIA handling this publicly? Are they admitting to the problems?
Their official line is more measured. They're saying production is on track to ramp, and that these kinds of engineering challenges are normal and expected for cutting-edge tech. They did highlight that SoftBank is set to be the first customer using Blackwell to build a supercomputer in Japan early next year.
Trying to put a positive spin on it, maybe. But these delays must be creating an opening for NVIDIA's competitors, right? They have like 80% of the market.
Absolutely. This could be a real opportunity for companies like Intel with their Gaudi AI chips, which are reportedly much cheaper.
Cheaper is always attractive.
And AMD, too. They're pushing their open source ROCm software platform as an alternative to NVIDIA's dominant proprietary CUDA platform. If customers can't get Blackwell when they need it, they might start looking seriously at Intel or AMD.
So NVIDIA's dominance might actually be tested here because of these production hiccups.
It's possible. The demand is astronomical, but if you can't deliver, customers will explore alternatives. It just shows how intense this whole AI hardware race is. The stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah, one slip up in manufacturing these complex systems can send ripples across the entire industry. It means the AI future everyone's racing towards might arrive on a slightly different schedule and maybe with a more diverse set of players involved.
Exactly. It's never a smooth path when you're dealing with this level of complexity and demand.
Okay, quite a journey through tech today. We looked at Meta's big AI push-poaching talent, investing heavily, and that whole open-ish source strategy with Llama 3.1 and what that really means.
Then we shifted to social media's evolution, with Instagram finally getting an iPad app. But more importantly, how platforms like Instagram and TikTok are challenging Google's dominance in search and discovery, especially with younger users.
And finally, the speed bumps for NVIDIA. Those delays with the super hyped Blackwell AI chips due to design and overheating issues, and how that impacts the timelines for giants like Microsoft, Google, and Meta, potentially opening the door for competitors.
These stories really show how interconnected everything is. Software ambitions depend on hardware realities, user behavior shapes, platform strategies, and the definition of open can be a competitive tool.
It all connects back to how we work, how we find information, how businesses operate and innovate. These aren't just abstract tech trends. They shape the tools and services you use every single day.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.